We appreciate you being here, since this program is optional and discusses best practices for your consideration. If you are thinking of adopting any of them, please make sure to review the requirements in your area/region with your broker, branch manager, or manager, including those related to contacting consumers. We do want to highlight the importance of the Telephone Consumer Protection Act, better known as TCPA. The general rules are that it's okay to call people if the person recently gave you their phone number, but remember to check the DNC list regularly if they haven't spoken to that person in a while. You will also want to check the DNC list anytime you don't have permission. Automated calling/texting platforms should never be used. Pre-recorded messages and artificial voices should never be used. You will be personally liable for any violations of the TCPA. We'll mention the TCPA a few times throughout this presentation.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's session on Market Content Creation, a Marketing Center overview. Let's go ahead and get started. Now, today's demonstration will provide you with a high-level overview of Marketing Center. Now, Marketing Center is your digital content management solution and digital asset generation. Quick to deploy and easy to use, Marketing Center provides affiliated agents with access to Coldwell Banker Realty's entire digital content library. The key features include stock photography, brand logos, listing templates, social media assets, virtual meeting backgrounds, brand campaigns, print marketing materials, and video elements as well. In today's live demonstration, we will be covering the following topics. As we go through today's demonstration, please feel free to use the chat feature to ask questions, and we will go over them at the end of the demonstration. With that said, let's get started. Okay, so now what we're going to go ahead and do is head over to mycbdesk.com. And today what we're going to be looking for is the Marketing Center tile, which is located right here. Now, if you can't find the Marketing Center tile, there's a couple of quick ways in which you can easily find it. So if you scroll over here to the middle of your screen, you'll see a Find an App icon. Click on that and type in Marketing Center. From here, you'll see that the tiles will start populating in, but with Marketing Center right there. Another way in which you can find it is if you scroll up to the top where it says what you would like to find today, you can go ahead and type in Marketing Center as well. And you can see underneath apps, Marketing Center is our first one. Now, if you don't see the application on your screen, there is another way as well. Maybe that application hasn't been on your desktop or your dashboard, if you will. Scroll down to the bottom and select the Add App option here. Now, if you don't have that Marketing Center tile on your dashboard, this location right here in the Add App tab is probably where it's residing. So if you do see here, click on that tile and then go ahead and click the blue Add button here. So as an example, not the tile today that we're looking for, but just as an example, if you do see the Marketing Center tile here, just click on that tile and then select Add. Okay, with that said, one last item before we head on over to the Marketing Center platform itself. I'm going to have you go ahead and select this Help Center link right here in the bottom left of your tile. This is a great resource if you have any questions about Marketing Center, maybe you need some additional training resources, all right here. So just keep that in mind as we talk about Marketing Center and what's available to you in regards to particular training elements or resources, if you will. Okay, so with that said, let's go ahead and get started and click on the tile. Okay, so now that we're within the Marketing Center application, we're going to take a look at the dashboard. Now, down the middle, we're going to see any recent projects that you might have been working on. If I scroll a little bit further down, you'll see featured templates. These are going to be templates that are coming from the brand. And then if I scroll a little bit further down, I'll see start items. These are going to be items that I have started myself, so I can easily find them if I need to go back and quickly relocate them. Now, On the left-hand side, you'll see that we have a little bit of a drop-down menu, if you will. Also call attention to the 3 lines up here in the left-hand side that will help us with minimizing or expanding that menu. So those are our hamburgers, if you will. Those are the 3 lines across the way. So down our left-hand menu side, we have My Projects, and this is going to be where you'll find the items that you've been working on. My Images, this is going to include images that are within your own library, images that are shared to you from the company, logos. And then also when we talk about royalty-free stock photography, the ability to add images from Unsplash. Now the templates, these are going to be the templates that are coming from the brand. Any type of brand assets, so again, logos, right, the big one. If I scroll a little bit further down, you'll see our print portal. So this is where you can go to get official prints done. So again, linking us over to Express Docs, the print vendor that is connected to Marketing Center, and then the Help Center. If you have any questions, right, there's some great article pieces there. In addition, on our right-hand side, we'll have our new project here. So this is where you can either do a new project from a template as an example. This is also where you can also go down the video route as well. Within Marketing Center, you do have that ability to create custom video pieces as well. So just kind of as a cherry that I'll leave out there for you. So with that said, let's go ahead and start going down our menu. I'll just go one by one down the list. So we're starting off with My Projects here, and then this is going to show you those different elements that, again, you've been working on. So with that said, we talk about this new project element up here. One thing I'll call out is we do have the ability to add that new folder here. So if I were to add a folder, right, it'll come down here to my projects area. And we talk about organization. This is a great place in which you can do that. So for example, I've got this demo flyer here. Maybe I want to put that in the demo folder. Right? And then this way, right, it's going to quickly move that and we'll have our organizational pieces done. Additionally, if I want to favorite anything, right, we talked about the starring element so we can quickly relocate items. If I click on those 3 dots here, I can click on more and select add to star. And again, you'll see the new star icon there. And again, this is how I can quickly find a particular folder. Now, as you also saw on those 3 dots, right, we do have the delete option here. And let's just say by accident you do delete something and you need to restore it. That's perfectly okay. Just scroll on down to the bottom where it says trash. And let's say like I wanted to restore this for an example, I can just click on those 3 dots and hit restore, or you can see here it says restore here, so I can go ahead and click on that and that'll move that back to the My Projects folder. Okay. I feel like we've covered projects pretty well. From an organizational standpoint, right, you've got My Projects, recent projects. Again, then I'll just take a look at the projects that you've been looking at. And again, your start items, those will be looking at the ones that you've favorited, if you will, and then shared with me, right? Those are going to be the ones that people are sharing with you. Now let's head on down to My Images. And in regards to My Images, right, we can see that, again, we've got our Coldwell Banker logos already coming on in. But now you can see some of the other pieces propagating as well. So the images here, again, these are going to be the ones that you've been working with recently. If I drop down to the shared with me images, these are going to be where you'll find pictures, royalty-free stock photography from the company. So, we talked about logos first, so I can briefly go about that before we get to the actual photography element. So if I go down a little bit down the way, we'll see CB weight. I'll come back to that, I promise. We have our CB logos here, right? These are just going to be the ones for you. So whether that's Global Bank Realty, Global Luxury, you can go down the path of either one to find the logos that you're looking for. Again, if you ever need those, right, you can just quickly go ahead, click on that, and then download image. You'll see a window pop up. Right, here's our logo. I can right click on that and then just hit save image as, and then you can download that particular logo onto your computer. Right, so it's a quick way to find the logos for Global Banker if you need them. But I did make a promise that we're going to go back to the CB way, so let's take a look at that. So you can see that we've got our different images here that we can work from within for CB way, and again, use them in our pieces, or if you want to download them onto your computer, you can do that too. If I scroll a little bit further down the way, the other folder that's got some great stock photography is the Dream folder, right? And this is coming from our Dream campaigns. Again, photography that you can use in your pieces. Now, maybe you're working in a little bit of that high-end space, if you will, the global luxury. So if I scroll down a little bit further down, you'll be able to see global luxury. If I select that, you see that we have these really nice photos of particular areas of a house, wine cellar, wine room. And again, if you want to download any of these images, go ahead, select the download image just like what we did before with the logo, and then right click on that and then save the image as. Okay. Last but not least, the other place that I want to point out is the Unsplash icon down here. So again, Unsplash is going to be a great resource for royalty-free stock photography. So if I go to search images here and I type in living room, you can do kitchen, dining room, whatever your heart desires. Right, you can see that we've got all these different images coming up. Let's wait for them to populate here a little bit more. And sometimes with Marketing Center, it does take a little bit, so just be patient. If not, then we can always just take the one that's already kind of populated for us. So if I highlight this photo as an example, right, it's highlighted green. You can see up here in the top left that the Add Photos button has now turned green as well. So if I go ahead and hit Add Photos, this image is now going to be saved to the library for my images here on Marketing Center. And then you can start using those in your pieces. So a really handy thing to have within Marketing Center, the Unsplash element. So I'm going to go ahead and add photos. You can see it's automatically going to send me back to my images. And here is that living room shot. Additionally, if I click on the three dots here and I want to rename it, I can do that as well. So maybe I want to call it living room so that I can easily find it, because you can search for the image by names up top here. Okay, so those are our images. Let's head on down to templates. Now, when it comes to templates, there's a lot of different routes we can go, and you can do it in English and Spanish too, so there are Spanish options here. But you can see here on the left-hand side, we have our social media content pieces, print advertisements, flyers, postcards, brochures, guidelines, banners. If I go even further down, right, business card layouts, virtual backgrounds for those Teams and Zoom meetings that you're going to be on, stationery and window displays as well. And if I go further down below, right, we have our categories too. So if you're looking to kind of pare down the results here for what we have within templates, this is a quick way to find those pieces too. So within that, let's go ahead. I'll start with the social media content first. So I'm going to go ahead and select social. And then I'm going to go ahead and select, let's do the win business option here. And then you can see we have this icon here. Now might be the right time. Your home is in high demand. So I'm going to go ahead and select that one. And what you're going to go ahead and see is a lot of the different content pieces within this particular template. So if this all looks great to you, groovy, let's go ahead and select use template. And then this is where you can name that file as well. So let's just call this social media template. And from here, I'm going to go ahead and select create document. Okay. So now that this is loaded, you can see on the left-hand side, we have some of our different icons here. And you can scroll down here as well just to see the different pages and the different elements that we've got. So let's just say that we really love this first one up top here. Your home is in high demand. Now, if I want to go ahead and download this image, I can quickly do that. I can go ahead and select this, download this drop-down arrow here. And because it's social media, right, I'm going to want to change this out to a JPEG. And let's just say I want that first page. I can just go ahead and select current page, or if I go page range, I can just type in the number 1. Either way works. And then from here, you have the ability to change your resolution from screen, right, not print, right? And the big difference is the DPI, right? If you're doing something digital, you can get away with doing something like screen. Print, right? If you're sending this off to be professionally printed, that's where you can go. And then we have our color sets. So RGB, right? This is mostly for our digital color coding. And then CMYK is going to be for print. So let's go ahead. I'll just pick the first one. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit next and then select down. And then as you'll see, that image will then start downloading for me. You can see it's generating, and then there we go, better social media template. Now, if I want to share this with anybody, I can go ahead, I can click on collaborate. And that's a great thing about Marketing Center too. You can collaborate with other individuals, you can share projects with them so that this way you all can work on it at the same time. So when we're talking about really this ecosystem working together or working with your team, or maybe it's part of the marketing staff that's assisting you with a particular piece, this is great to do that. You can click on collaborate, and essentially you're just going to type their email address in. And remember, that's going to be the Coldwell Banker address because that's what's assigned to Marketing Center. Okay. So that's kind of like a quick, easy way to do some of the social media elements too. I'll also point out too, if you go ahead and select the share option, you do have the ability to share this to social. So if I clicked on post to social, then I can click on one of the appropriate platforms that I would like to post on, and then I can follow the prompts. Okay, moving right along. Let's take a look at one more social media template before I head on over to the print side of things. So let's go ahead and exit that. We'll keep social, but maybe this time I want to do property promotion. And with that said, let's just say I want to do, let's do an open house. So if I go ahead, I type in open house. Right, I got some of this first one here. So this open house slide here. So I'll go ahead and click on this one. And you can see that you've got a couple of different templates as well, ranging from just a single one to maybe you're part of a team, or maybe it's just yourself. You've got open houses on back-to-back days. You can do that as well. You can see for more options here as well. You'll see on a couple of different templates. So there are more page options. You can take advantage of those. So in this case, you'll use template again and then type in open house template. So go ahead, create that document. Now you can see this, you're going to have this element that says smart fields are missing from this project. That's okay. That's more along the lines because I'm an admin here. But if you ever need to update this, right, so this way items will automatically kind of populate in. I can click on the update smart fields, right, and in this case, right, it's going to ask me to put in my cell phone and the license number of the items that are missing. Okay. So in this particular case, right, I've got an open house. And I think one of the really neat things too is we can go down, we can see some of the other pages too. And then I'll also point out, we talked about the new page options before I get into the actual content creation. You can see all the different layouts that you can add. So, if I wanted to add one with a picture, I could do that. So a lot of different routes in which you can go. So for today, though, I'm going to stick with the one with no photo. Text is fine. I want more of the focus to be on the property itself. What's really neat, though, is on this left-hand side, right, you can see all these different elements that we can take a look at adding to a particular piece. So with that said, I'll scroll down here. And one of the things I want to call out is this property listings, this one with a house. So if I select that, your listings should populate here. So I'm just going to type in the address, wait for it to load on in. And you can always just hit the magnifying glass, enter. If it doesn't automatically populate, that's fine. And if this happens, that's okay as well. So let's go ahead and type this in real quick. So here we go. Here, I'm now going to apply it to the document. So what's really neat, right, is that the description is already populating in the address, price. And the cool thing is, right, the photo is coming from the MLS. So we've got our photo here, but in case I want to use any of the other photos, right, I could just select images and use the image that I would like to use. Right. Also, what's neat is that if you right click on this photo, you can also crop it as well. So this way, if you need to move it, alter it, whatever way, you can do that too. Okay, so then for date range here, you can type in the date range itself, or maybe you want to type in a bigger title, right? Right. And then you can put down your open here. So if I type within here, and if you do have an open house within the MLS, it'll pull within here as well. Okay. All right, so then I have that information. I'm going to zoom in here now so I can start typing in some of the other elements. And maybe I'll just edit it quickly so then I can go ahead and then post it right so it doesn't seem like it's cut off. Okay. All right, so then I've got the name here. I just add, cell phone number. And then license number for those states that need it. So, okay. So then I've got that piece. I'm ready to go. So I can just go ahead. Again, I can share, I can download, so I can do all those things. But again, the element that I wanted to showcase to you is that, right, we have the ability to tie into the MLS. So any listings that we have, we can pull from. I don't have to go searching for photos. So great piece to keep in mind there as well. So maybe if you're doing even like an open house flyer, right, that could be great because then you can just quickly plug in photos. Okay, so I'm gonna head back. So now that I've gone ahead, I've kind of tackled social a little bit. Let's take a look at a flyer. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead, select that flyer option, let everything populate in, and then let's keep with the theme of win business. So I'll select that one again. And I'm going to click on this first one, the CB National Agents flyer. So if I click on this one, right, you'll see that we have the one layout here, but for some of these options, right, they're going to have a lot more than just the one. So if I go ahead and select use template, all right, we can just call this demo flyer. I'll go ahead and then select create documents. And you saw there where it said my projects, you can hit the drop down there and then you can assign it to a different location as well. So again, right, organization helps us out quite a bit within Marketing Center. So just keep that in mind that you do have that option available to you. Now on the left-hand side here, you'll see this pink rectangle. So it talks about that some of the flyers will have content pieces that might not be available in your neck of the woods. So just keep that in mind if you see that, if you're in one of those states. So in this case, if I select the new page, just like what we did with the open house social media tile, I can then start looking at all the different pieces here that I can go ahead and edit. So if I scroll down, you can see all the different places, relocation, budget-friendly ways to increase the value of your home, right? Equity is a big thing nowadays. So let's talk about expired listings, right? So then again, it's already built for you and your information should pop in for the most part. With me being an admin, it doesn't always populate in, so don't worry about that. If it doesn't, easily fixed, so I can scroll down here, type in that company URL. So just quick. Or we got our title. You don't have to keep everything, so let's say I don't want the office phone there. Okay, I can just start typing everything. Again, right, we talked about like photos and so forth. So if you see something you don't like how it's cropped, just right click on it, crop image, And let's pull that down so my head's not cut off as much. And then there we go. So then this way then I'm ready to download it. I can select that download option. In this case, right, if I'm going to print it out and I want it for PDF print, it's going to change that resolution to 300 dpi. If I go ahead and do advanced settings, you can also see here that I've got the format that I can change it anything for the most part. You can stick with default, you'll be okay. Color profile, right, in this case, if you're sending it to an official printer, most of the time you'll take it down to CMYK, use one of these top ones up here. And then if the printer is requesting any kind of crop or bleed marks, or maybe you're working on an ad, you can check those in there as well. So I'm going to go ahead and select next and then download. All right, and that's how I can quickly just download a flyer. Then I can either print that out at the office, maybe I can send it out to the staff to print out for me. Right? The concept is, right, they're ready-made content pieces here for you that are readily available. So then the other thing I want to point out as well, right, I have this share option. Now, if I want to have these professionally printed, right, we've got the order prints, right, I can do it through print and then order prints, or just select the order prints option. And you can see the different elements that are assigned to this piece. In this particular case, right, if I scroll down a little bit further, so I've got part here, not that far. I'm going to go ahead and select this flyer one-sided portrait, 8.5 by 11. And I'm going to select review PR proof. And what this is going to go ahead and do is it will eventually take us to Express Docs, where we can go through the process of having this ordered for us. So I'm going to put the demo flyer there. I'm going to select this add to cart. And we'll put our quantity in. And we'll wait for our proof to upload here on the left-hand side. Okay, so now we've got that. We can select our paper type. And then you can proceed to checkout and then follow the prompts, if you will. And so that's how we can quickly do that. Okay, so I'm going to head back out of here real quick and cancel that. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead, head back. The other thing you'll notice here too, you do have that option for, actually let's head back to that because I do think that's an important thing to just talk about real quick. So go ahead and open this. Now on this left-hand side, right, you'll notice that, we talked about some of these things like the text and shapes that if you want to add it to a piece, you can. There's also this QR code piece as well. So if you want to add a QR code, you can add that element there. It'll ask you to, let's just click on it, right? You can choose your shape, your size. You can add to the design. And then if you scroll down, right, it'll ask you for the name that you want to call your QR code and then what website address, and then you can just add it to your design. Right, so I think that's a really cool thing to do. So especially maybe if it's going to your website, maybe it's going to a home evaluation tool that you're using. So a lot of great ways in which you can add different types of elements onto your marketing pieces within Marketing Center. Okay, so now we can head back. I just thought that was pretty important. Okay, so now I've talked about a lot of the different templates within that template section. So we've talked about print, we've talked about social media. Now I touched upon it very briefly earlier on, but there is that video template option as well. So if I scroll on over to the top right of my screen, and I take a look at this new project button, I can go ahead, select new project, and you can see at the bottom here that I have these two options for custom videos and brand videos. Now, while the video class is a new session in and of itself, with that said, this is a great place to where you can make content that has your information on it. You can get a little bit more in depth and make your own social media videos for open houses, if you will. So again, a lot of great ways in which you can create content within that. So I just wanted to point that out as well. If you're looking for video content, new project, and then again, on the down here, custom video, brand video. Now that you've seen the Marketing Center overview, how to navigate the dashboard, the types, templates, assets available, and how to create a project from a template, right? I think it's a great time, right, where you can start practicing creating some on your own, maybe enroll in some more Marketing Center courses, or schedule an appointment with your office staff or marketing specialist that is there to also help. Now, with that said, we've talked about going to either your local office staff or your local marketing specialist, but I also do want to call out next available appointment and remind you that it's a service where you can book a 20-minute solution-oriented virtual appointment with one of our 100 plus marketers in as little as 2 business hours. You can book these appointments for support on our core marketing tools at nextavailableappointment.com. I think this is a great tool just because, again, let's just say you're on the West Coast, but you're an early riser, right? You can help reach out to those folks out there on the East Coast, vice versa. If you're a night owl on the East Coast, right, we have folks working on the West Coast as well.